Hello, lovely people of crypto, Web3, and blockchain. Welcome to yet another really exciting episode, live show by Voice of Crypto, where we talk about all things Web3, crypto, and blockchain. And in today's episode, much like all of our other live shows that we do on a daily basis, we're going to be taking a look at price action. We are, of course, going to take a look at the top altcoin price action as well as Bitcoin price action in detail. Like we already spoke about yesterday, today is going to be one of our special weekly sessions wherein we take a deep dive into the price action of the entire week, which means that we will be carefully assessing a lot of top cryptocurrencies, how they've performed, also take a look at the top weekly gainers, and a few tips and tricks about how you can place your bets during the weekend. Other than that, we will, of course, take a look at the top news from the crypto market and the topic of the day, which is rather interesting. Elon Musk thanks Dogecoin founder. Is Doge Pump coming soon? So, while we will be talking in detail about this particular news piece, how Elon Musk thanked the Dogecoin founder, and we will also be taking a look at Doge price action. Uh, at this point, I would love to give our disclaimer, which is that none of what we say on these sessions or what our guests say is financial advice. So make sure that you always do your own research in the crypto market, and that is the key to success. DYOR, my friends. Now, without further ado, we will dive right into price action. I also have a quick update for anyone who's joining or would be joining or manages to catch this session later. As you all are familiar, we are doing $100 weekly giveaway on for exclusively for our commentators, for our communities, our Web3 communities. So don't miss that out. It's a great chance to sort of be more active, be a part of the community, ask the right questions. That's the motto at Voice of Crypto. So make sure that you leave relevant comments on whichever social media platform you've joined this on, and a few of our commentators, a few of our community members stand a chance to get a part or the entire $100 prize pool that we have each week. So make sure that you head over to our Telegram announcement channel link that will be dropped in the comment section, the live chat section itself. So make sure that you guys are able to catch that. And now we will take a look at the global crypto market cap, the price action, how top cryptocurrencies have performed, how the market is acting at this moment, and a pretty decent overall look for the market at this point. Big news was made. A lot of Bitcoin price articles are in the news circulation today, largely because of Bitcoin crossing over the 37,750 US dollar mark, and also managing to briefly touch the 3,800 US dollar mark, 38,000, my bad, US dollar mark. The total crypto market volume in the last 24 hours, while has dipped by almost a little over 19%, it does mean that there's a bit of skepticism in the market, and market participants have. I already mentioned in quite a few of our previous sessions that a lot of Bitcoin's high degree pump would be sort of dependent on the 40,000 US dollar mark for Bitcoin, which could act as a key psychological support resistance mark. Once BTC price is over that, of course, a little bit more of price action can be expected or anticipated. But as we are aware, weekends are a weird time for the crypto market in both positive as well as negative ways, depending on how the market trajectory is. So what sort of a price action will pan out over the weekend is something that remains to be seen. But for now, a pretty decent overview of the market is what I see from prices at this point. Global market cap stable above the 1.4 trillion US dollar mark. It's increased, in fact, by over 1%, and it was currently placed at 1.44 trillion US dollar. Bitcoin, again, a decent overview. Ethereum has also finally crossed over the 2100 US dollar mark, which again is an important price point for ETH, and ETH has managed to make over 7% gains in the last week. Bitcoin has managed to make over 3% gains in the last week. On a daily price perspective, both the top coins have gained momentum. Ethereum a tad bit more, but Bitcoin also pretty well placed in terms of the price action. While BTC did manage to sort of briefly touch the 3,800 US dollar mark, we saw a downtick from that particular level. And on a daily price frame, of course not here, but on some exchanges, BTC did reach the exact 38k US dollar mark. For now, however, BTC is back down to the 37.7k US dollar mark, and we can see that there's a dip in BTC trade volumes, largely because of this teeny bit of price dip, as well as BTC not crossing over key support resistance marks, which would in fact be the 38k. So I'm sure that if price breaks up first above the 38k mark and stabilizes above that, we can expect decent bullish momentum. But for now, since BTC is back below the 37.7, we the future won't seem as clear. Once again, like I always say, none of this is financial advice, and we're not trying to decode the future here. We're just merely taking a look at price action from a very technical point of view. That said, we have in fact one thing that I do want to point out is that weekends have been a time for this particular coin, our king coin Bitcoin, to make a bit of moves in the market. So if this weekend is conducive enough for Bitcoin bulls, then maybe some sort of a positive price momentum can be expected. We will be diving right back into our altcoins. We've already taken a look at Ethereum, and Ethereum at this point performs decently. BNB gaining over 1%, XRP over 1%. We can see that not a lot of the top 10 or even 20 altcoins have, in fact, reacted to the Bitcoin pump this time. While they have stabilized in terms of price action, and there's a bit of greens that we see on the daily price perspective, as well as on the weekly for a few tokens. In If you talk about the majority of coins, not a lot of action, um, especially if we look at the top 20. I feel like some of the best performing top 20 would be Dogecoin and Ethereum, as well as Toncoin on a longer perspective, but not a lot of action for altcoins at the moment, as we can see. That said, we will take a short break from our price analysis. Price analysis, of course, uh, as exciting as it is, it does tend to get a little bit too overwhelming. So we will take a look at our topic of discussion for today, which is Elon Musk thanks Dogecoin founder. Is there going to be a Dogecoin price pump? And while not every move that Elon Musk makes leads to a pump in Dogecoin, but it does manage to steer away from bearish trends in terms of such kind of news. And there is a clear connection between Musk reacting to either Dogecoin price or talking about Doge, and that leading to Dogecoin, a certain bit of increase in Dogecoin's price. Very recently, Musk publicly thanked Doge creator for supporting him and all the work that he has done. And the comment was actually a reply to Shibetoshi Nakamoto, who is the founder of the creator of Dogecoin. He said that it is important to support Twitter, now called X, as much as everyone can. It was sort of this appeal to the community where he was preaching X, saying that there isn't another social media app that is trying to protect free speech, and politicians are, sort of in a battle with free speech. However, X is working really well. X, under the leadership of Elon Musk, has been working really well to work on all of these forefronts, to which Musk replied, saying, giving a big shout out and thanks to Billy Marcus, who was the founder of Dogecoin. And this little bit of interaction between the two founders did lead to a little bit of pump for Dogecoin. However, as we saw, that the pump wasn't as great as all the other Dogecoin pumps that we have seen in the last couple of years or 3 years or so. Nonetheless, Doge did manage to perform of fare out pretty well in terms of price, especially in a market that we're seeing at this moment. And we already saw that Dogecoin was one of the top gainers in the top 20 coins. Now, while there isn't a direct correlation between the conversation that went on between Billy Marcus and Musk, we can surely attribute the little bit of euphoria or the little bit of anticipation, excitement that the market sees, or the communities of that particular coin or meme token must have experienced to a rise in trade volume as well as a rise in terms of price. And now, while we have already addressed the news, we've looked at the what and why of Dogecoin, we will now be taking a look at Dogecoin price action because even though we know that it is one of the top gainers, a closer look at Dogecoin's price trajectory suggests us that there's not a lot going on in terms of short-term price action on a weekly price basis. In fact, if anything, Dogecoin has lost over 7% and hasn't really fared out as well as you would expect it to be, especially in the kind of market that we're in, where a lot of coins saw that sort of a volatility pump and were able to rise. Doge hasn't been able to really make the cut. In fact, if we zoom out even further, we see that the highest the Dogecoin price was able to reach was about 0.086, or a little above 0.086 US dollar. This is the monthly high that Doge achieved. However, at the moment, we are not seeing a lot of action in terms of Doge price. While it has managed to gain some ground from the 0.072 support mark that is there. Of course, if price falls any below the 0.07 mark, there are that would point towards some sort of a bearish angle for price. For now, however, price angle has been maintained. It's still above the support line that I'm talking about, which is 0.72 to 0.74. And from there to Dogecoin has managed to clear some ground, but only a move above 0.08 US dollar would mark some sort of a bullish or positive price momentum for Dogecoin. At the moment, however, despite the news that must have trended in the market, where there was this really decent exchange of words between the two founders, creators, that being Elon Musk and Dogecoin's founder or creator, Billy Marcus. Despite all of that, there wasn't a lot that happened for Dogecoin in terms of price. And now we will look right at the top gainers of this week. And before we wrap that up, we will also be I will be giving in a few altcoins that we can watch carefully in the next week as well for um, just to take a look at their price action. Like I always say, there is no financial advice that we give on this platform. Nonetheless, there are a few exciting tokens that we can keep a watch of. So that towards the end. But before that, the top gainers of the week, which include Blur token. We have already noticed that Blur token has been rallying pretty impressively on the short term and the long term perspective. Blur, I think a couple of days back, it made its way into the top 100 cryptocurrencies by market cap, and now we can see it nicely placed above a lot of long term. Above a lot of projects that have been in the top 100 from a really long time, including Clayton, which has also performed decently. But Blur, we can say, has totally killed it in the market with its 95% gains. On the other hand, if we look at the short term price action for Blur, we can see that it has dipped by a little over 1% on an hourly time frame, which clearly shows us that there's a bit of saturation in the market. There's a high chance that the market is a little bit overheated. Price action would be a tad bit more overheated for Blur. While volumes are still rising, the market cap as well is still rising. You can spot the market cap and volume right here on your left side of the chart. We both the spike in market cap is clearly owed to the rise in price, but the volume uptick could also mean sell-offs. So do your own research in the market, and before you enter any sort of a position in especially micro cap altcoins, always make sure that you are only spending, this being a personal advice, only putting in what you can afford to risk. That said, Blur is closely followed by FTT token. We already know that at this point, FTT or FTX token has no real world value because of the now defunct FTX exchange. Nonetheless, owing to just a lot of retail euphoria. We've seen FTT do pretty well in terms of price, and this could, like I said, largely be attributed to retail euphoria, the 40%, almost 40% weekly gains. Closely followed after FTT, we have Clayton's Clay token, which also charted over 25% gains, followed by Fetch.ai's FET token, KuCoin token, Mina, Immutable X, and there are quite a few tokens that have also made it to the cut in terms of the top gainers of the day in the last few episodes, including Gnosis Chain's GNO token, Render. Mina has almost always managed to make it to the cut in terms of high gains in this week anyway. Fetch.ai's token also was sort of rallying a couple days ago and now it's back on track. A quick look at the top gainers of the day also suggests that Blur, Mina, FET token, Ethereum, the ETH DYDX token, which is by the DYDX platform, is of course rallying and it has performed very well, very stable gains, both on the short term as well as on the long term price perspective. Quite a few of the tokens are the same that we saw a few days back. However, one coin that not one coin, rather, a coin that I really want to look at is Thorchain's Rune token. And just yesterday, uh, we were sort of applauding the rise that Rune token saw. But for now, if we take a look at price, we can see that Rune price soon after I think mentioned that Rune price could be a little bit overheated above the $5 we've seen a little bit of dip for Rune. Nonetheless, on a month basis, Rune, which we can see saw over 150% gains, has played out well in terms of price. So that, my friends, wraps it up. We have taken a look at the top cryptocurrencies. We also saw a few tokens that gained the most in this week, as well as the top gainers of the day. And with that, I would wrap my weekly session. We will see you on Monday around the same time in all of these same places with, of course, fresh updates from the crypto Web3 market. Until then, stay tuned to Voice of Crypto. Don't forget to check out our website for any detailed analysis of the cryptocurrencies that I spoke about, as well as to just stay ahead of trends in the crypto space, as well as getting the crispiest, fastest news right on your screens. And once again, quick announcement for anyone who's joined: make sure to check out the comment section where we leave the link to our Telegram announcement group. That's where you can follow the instructions and stand the chance to win about $100. So go ahead, do that, and I will see you on Monday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. It's always lovely to interact with my Web3 crypto communities.